Hey, I'm Mr. Parka, and you're watching Mr. Tony of the Dead.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Mr. Tony of the Dead here, and I have another movie review for everybody out there. This one's on a movie called Zombie. This is from Blue Underground, and it's directed by Lucio Fulci. Movie follows this reporter who is investigating in this boat that just randomly shows up in the New York harbor, and on the boat is also this woman whose father is gone missing, and he's on an island, and they team up and they go and they want to go to the island and find him, and along the way they come across another couple, and then they help them out to get to the island. And when they get to the island, it's basically overrun by zombies, and that's really basically what this is about. So in Italy, this is considered an unofficial sequel to Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead 1978, this came out in 1979, and I can kind of see that, especially the way this ends. I don't know, it's almost, you could say it's a prequel, you could say it's maybe tied into Dawn of the Dead. It just depends on how you look at it. It's, you know, it might not even be part of the same kind of world. It could be, but there's little differences between, you know, the way things are, like how you turn and all that kind of stuff. Especially the zombies in this too. They, first time I ever saw zombies, they walk around and with their eyes closed. They just like have them closed the whole time. Even if they're like fresh zombies, they don't open their eyes, but they know where you are. But there was a point of view of a zombie that they showed on camera, and you can see what he's seeing. So I don't know if that's supposed to be, you know, they sense you, or their senses are just so much better that they, you know, obviously can sense you and tell where you are. Or maybe they're kind of looking out their eyelids, but they're just kind of like walking normal with their eyes closed. But they, you know, I just thought that was interesting. In England, it's called Zombie Flesh Eaters. In America, it's called Zombie, and I believe in Italy it's Zombie 2. And all that gets very confusing. And if I'm wrong about that, let me know. I'm still very confused about all that to this day. I don't understand it. And I understand, like, you know, different places, like I just said, call it different things. I totally get that, but I get very confused because it's so many different places, especially when it's like Zombie 2, and then what they call Dawn of the Dead is like Zombie. It's just like, it's very, it confuses me, and I just lose track. So if anybody could put a link below, or just really explain to me how the pattern of how it goes, let me know. Now, if you've watched my channel for a while, or you've you know, followed me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you've heard me talk about this movie before, and not in a good way. And don't turn it off. You know, just wait. I've always I never could get through this movie. I don't know why. I think it was this, you know, the situation I was in, the environment. Maybe I wasn't in the right frame of mind. You know, sometimes you put a movie on, you're just like, I don't feel like watching this, I'm not in the mood. You know, you're just not in the right, like I say, frame of mind, you know. And I don't mean drunk or something like that, where you just can't remember it or something like that. I mean, like, you're just like not feeling it at the moment. And I tried watching this a bunch of times, and a few times we're actually at the drive-in, and I blame the uncomfortableness being in a car, you know, having to scooch down and try to see out the window and watch it. And then, you know, of course it's, you know, gritty and everything, which is, that doesn't bother me, but I don't know, just everything around me, there's so many people. I think it just wasn't the right environment. I needed to watch this on my own, undisturbed, and you know what, I did that now. I finally did that while watching this, and I gotta say, now I am finally a fan of Zombie. I was always a fan of the gore before in this. Like, I always said, like, well, you know, I liked the splinter scene with the eye, you know, the famous scene. I liked, you know, how some of the zombies looked. At first I didn't really care for that, because I was a diehard Romero fan, and Dawn of the Dead original, you know, grayish bluish colors and all that shit, but I was very biased. But you know, I just thought, you know, looking at it now through this, especially on 4K, it really brought me to where everybody else is with this movie, I guess. You know, just, I wanted to watch it right away again afterwards, and I had the friggin' theme music in my head like for at least a day or two afterwards. It's so, as I play it a bunch of times in the movie, and it's actually a catchy tune. Now, like I said, this isn't the 4K. It's the 40th anniversary edition, and you know, I think also being that I've watched this in 4K now, I finally liked it more. And like I said, I was, you know, it was just me watching alone, and I got to like focus on the movie. And even though I had to like stop it because I had to go to bed, and then I watched it again like a few days later, like picked it up where it was. It didn't lose anything for me. I still liked it, and I had the captions on everything. You know, it was the best time I ever watched it, and I think that's what made me like this movie. Now, if it was like that the first time I watched it, I probably would have liked it the first time, and everybody wouldn't have said, "You're fucking crazy. Oh my God, I can't believe you. And oh, how could you be a horror fan if you don't like this movie?" Well, not everybody's gonna like the same things. But like I said, sometimes you need to watch something a few times and you start to appreciate it. Sometimes you watch a movie and you're like, it was okay. And then you watch like special features behind the scenes, you see how they made it, and then you're like, you know what? I appreciate them a little more now, you know. And then you start thinking about stuff. You have time to think about a movie, and just being able to watch this finally, and I appreciate the fact too, like in 4K, how awesome the zombies still looked. There were like maybe the underwater thing with the whole zombie versus shark. You know, that was probably the most where you could tell the makeup, but still, it wasn't too bad. It just kind of like, in a way, it's like, oh, you just got to think of it as like, well, it's his flesh, you know, coming apart. But that's probably the most you can tell that it's makeup. But everything else, they look fantastic. It looked absolutely beautiful. Like the close-ups of them, the camera work, everything in this, it looked awesome. And the sound was awesome. Like, I don't have surround sound or anything like that, so when I say I go off the sound and it sounded really good, I'm going off just regular speakers on the TV. There's a lot of movies from Fulci that I don't really like, to be honest. I've seen a bunch of them. In the past like year or two, I've been watching more Italian horror movies, and it's a hit or miss for me. Giallos are usually I usually like them because I like the mystery, but it's tough to get right into them. This one obviously isn't a giallo, but you know, sometimes the horror ones are hard to get into for me too. Or like, but I always thought that the Italian horror was kind of like a lot more disgusting than American, at least at the time. Like they're gross. There's like just some like you know, I guess what they call video nasties or something like that. Like it's just like it's gross. I guess that's why they call it that. It's just very disgusting things, and if it's enough to gross me out, you know, well done. And there was like the throat rips in this, and the eye with the splinter. I think the 4K might have like taken away a little bit of that, to be honest. Like it was a little too cleaned up, but it was still cool to see. And you know, I just feel like everybody in this movie that like got killed by a zombie, it's like, how do you not outrun them? These are the slowest zombies I've ever seen in my fucking life. You're on an island, but you have to have something that you can, you know, hit them in the head. And when they're dead, that's how you kill them. It's not like Return of the Living Dead where even in the head they don't die. This is like, you know, whatever. I mean, I'm sure maybe they don't realize that, but go for the head. You know, if you're hitting them in the chest, shooting them in the chest, and they're not stopping, hit them in the head. But I don't know. I guess I'll know whenever the zombie apocalypse starts. So now we're going to check this out. I'm going to show you the front, you know, and the slip and everything. So let's check it out. Alright, so as you can see here, you can probably tell from watching the review, this is the lenticular cover, and this is just one of three. I think this one's called Worms. I believe that's what this is called. Can you guess why? I think it's called Worms. The other one's called, I think, Splinter, and then there's another one called Bridge. And, you know, honestly, I think a lot of people got the Splinter one because, you know, and that one's really cool. This one's probably I don't know which one I like more. I do like this one, you know, because I have it. But the Splinter one's cool. And the Bridge one is just, you know, awesome looking because it's like, you know, the end of the movie, and it's just an awesome, like, vision. Like, not, I don't say vision, like, it's such an awesome looking scene. Like, it's just like, oh shit, you know, they're just across the bridge and the cars are still going. They don't know what the hell's going on, but it's just like, I don't know. But I think this one looks really cool. I really like this. And this is a Spanish conquistador that is 400 years old, and you can't question it. Yes, he's still intact, pretty much. You just can't question it. You just can't. You're not supposed to. But and I did. I was like, how are they still walking around? How are they wouldn't their brains be like gone? You know, how could they? But it's a movie. You just gotta let it go. And the fact that they are Spanish conquistadors and they get up and they walk around, and then that part's fucking awesome. You just got to go with it. And on the back of the slipcover here has, you know, all the, you know, it doesn't tell you what the movie is about. It just tells you like kind of like facts and stuff like that. But here's like what's on it and everything. And you know, if you want, you can pause it and you can check that out now. Also, as you can see, obviously there is something that is on the back of this. Unlike in my Maniac review, if you, it was pointed out to me that why was the back of mine blank, and that was because it was a misprint. So you know, there's supposed to be something on it, and then that's a totally different review. But I just wanted to point out, if you have a black background, it's a misprint. And here's the sleeve right here. And you have the, you know, same cover that's on the lenticular cover. And if you want, you can reverse it. And here's the original one. I'll probably be reversing it to this because, you know, you have the lenticular. I don't need the other one as well, you know, all over the place. So you have that one, and you got the, you know, cool zombie font. And and you can tell that it's a thick one because it is a thick edition, just like the Maniac one. Also, I like to point out that there's different pictures on this side than on this side. Oh, over here. And here we have the Blu-ray, which has the feature on it. And here is the Blu-ray, the second Blu-ray, and that has, you know, just special features on it. And then here is a booklet, and under the booklet here is the soundtrack to the movie. So you're going to hear the theme song over and over again, but there's the soundtrack. Also, the Blu-rays are region free. And here we have the booklet, you know, with that zombie cover, the famous zombie picture, and on the back has all the chapters, you know, you check it out. And the inside, it's not that thick of a book, but it has, you know, some really cool stuff in here, you know, the old posters of Fangoria, things like that. That image is all over the place, but it's cool. And you know, just some of the gore stuff, interviews and stuff like that. Like I said, that picture's everywhere. But it's such a cool image. See, there's Zombie 2 and all that. And, you know, it's cool. Little book. Not so thick, but a lot of neat stuff in there. Now, with the special features and that, the extra stuff, a lot of it has been brought over from the previous edition that was on the Blu-ray Underground, which, you know, is cool because it's all good stuff, but there's not too much newer stuff on here. But you know, it's still, you know, some newer things, like new audio commentary, and then there's new When the Earth Spits Out the Dead interview with Stephen Thrower, and that's pretty much it. That's like the only two new things. And but you know, it still has a lot of things on here. And one thing I was watching is a Zombie Wasteland, and they interview like the people when they had it was actually was it the 30th reunion or something like that. And they were at Cinema Wasteland, which I've never gotten to go to Cinema Wasteland, but Mr. Parker goes all the time. And Mr. Parker, if you ever, I've been watching him for a while, and he's beginning his videos, not now, but the way they used to be. He used to be him standing up, waking up as a zombie, and he used to have the song from Zombie. And at the time, I didn't know what the song was from, but I always liked it. I always liked the song, I will say that. The theme, and he's a big fan, and I was trying to look for him in the crowd and I didn't see it, but it's pretty cool to see how they react. Like, they didn't want to go, you know, well, at least one of them didn't really want to go. Like, why should I go to the convention? Nobody's going to know who I am. And then, you know, people love them. They you know, it's such a big they have such a big following, so it's pretty cool to see how happy they were and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it's good stuff. It's old features. But if you haven't seen them before, like me, this is my first time, who gives a shit? I don't have the other edition. I'll be honest, I used to have it. I sold it because I'm like, I don't like this movie. I'm not going to watch it. Well, here we go. So I'd say, is it worth the upgrade from the other one to this one? Well, I never watched the other edition, but I thought this 4K looked great, sounded great. It's a good movie. If you want a couple extra more features, here you go. If you want the lenticular cover, you know, here you go. And like I said, there's 3 of them. So I think there's going to be like the big zombie fans out there are going to be the ones that have every edition. I'll be honest, I kind of wanted to get them, but like they're like $30 a piece. And it's like, no, if they're like $10 a piece, I'd get all the editions, but not for $30 a piece. Especially with 2 other editions, I'm probably not going to watch. I'll just keep it in the plastic, and that's it. So I'm happy with this one, and you know, I think the worms are, you know, awesome looking, and I really like it. And so yeah, I am glad I finally like this. Call me a hypocrite, whatever. You should just be thankful now that I'm finally on board. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, follow me on any one of the social media links in the description box below. Also, let me know what you think about this movie. Maybe you're one of those people that don't like it, and you know, maybe you need to come around like I did, or maybe you're just like, nope, I've seen it 10 times and I just don't like it. But you know, there's that. But if you are interested in getting this, I'll put a link below. You can go and get it. Also, put the trailer for this below. You can check that out. So that's everybody. Thanks for watching, and talk to you later. Bye.